everybody, it's Hump Day, and welcome to another edition of the Motor City Man-Mouth and Marvin on the Mic show. Hey, we'll be all over the map. We will be all over the world. And when it's all said and done, it'll be Sports Exchange time at 9 o'clock Eastern time. With that said, glad to have my broadcast partner, Marvin Powell III, is on. Welcome back to our big show.
Scott, listen, no place I'd rather be.
Good. Well, we're going to have a good time tonight. I tell you, we got an unpredictable show. I really believe we got an additional show. We're going to start out in Japan. Japan now has 100,000 people age over 188% of which are women. Oh, my God. Seriously, really? Seriously, what do you think of that one?
Man, I need to get a better understanding of how they're living life out there because they living long. Now, I know we're talking about the women, but it's impressive to have people live over the age of 100 and to have so many of them. Now, I don't know what these women are putting in that in their husband's tea. I don't know why the men are falling off. That's a little scary. Makes you think twice about marrying a Japanese girl. But no, whatever they're doing culturally with their diet, it's a good thing because those people live a long time.
Well, many years ago, believe it or not, another lifetime ago in 1986, I dated a Japanese girl. Her name was Yumi, and I actually helped the girl pass her TOEFL test. You know, when they're trying to learn the language. I'm going to tell you one thing. No disrespect to a lot of women out there, but these Oriental girls, Yumi, gave me some of the best back rubs I ever had since I was burning the candle on both ends when it came to studying and working at the Tampa Tribune. I'll tell you, I helped her pass that test because yours truly is the English guy, and her being the Japanese. It's safe to say that my body got some good mileage out of that Toyota. That's for sure. She's a nice girl. She really, really was. But, you know, hey, I have no complaints about where I'm at now. I got the best Wisconsin / Indiana girl you can get, but back, she won back in 86. And Toyota definitely was great, and so were those back massages. But, man, I'm telling you, if these women are going out there living 100, I don't know if sushi puts weight on you or not, but sushi isn't so bad either. And for those people that like food, we'll be talking a little bit more about it in the show. So Toyota, guess what? You made the
yes, Scott, when you say Oriental, I laugh because you tell your age. I know that was the common term back in the day. I think we just say Asians now. But anyway, great story. I bet you it was a great back rub. I bet you it was.
Not only that, she was a good-looking girl too. To be honest with you. I'm telling you, she was. Hey, that was a good time back over USF. You know, I was just a young pup. And we got some activity in the chat room. Noelia Garcia up and on the phone, and Lightning, and you can do the house. Okay, well, I haven't done that in ages, but thanks for putting that in there. There might be some people out there doing it. TCO Bisky, hi. Hey, you know, that sounds like a name that would be associated with hot dogs. Don't take it personal because I do have a hot dog story that we're going to get to in a little while. But yeah, it was pretty good. Oriental, I don't know. Is that what they call Asian? I have no idea what they do.
Typically, Oriental is like physical objects, things. But back in the day, that was the term. That's how you referred to people from that region. I think now we just say Asian or the specific country.
Good to know. I'm learning a little bit of a lesson about Japanese, but nevertheless, the Japanese have no shortage of people over 100.
No, they got cougars. They got cougars out there. They cougars. That's what you call they cougars. 100-year-old women out there.
Yeah, imagine they are if they're living to 100 years old. They're definitely cougars out there. But my gosh, 100,000 people, over 188% of women. Live it up and live in peace, because we keep saying rest in peace too often. All right, well, let's talk about the NBA. We'll have a couple topics pertaining to that. The NBA is expected to consider hosting the NBA Cup finals at storied college locations in the future. What are your thoughts about that, Marvin?
I guess I don't know why they would do that versus having it in an NBA arena. You know, we have popularity here in America. Basketball, college basketball is big in the States. So I guess I would want to know what's the marketing advantage to that? Like, what's the bigger play? Are they trying to get into small towns? Is that the issue? Do they feel like, which may be the case actually, because I think most of these NBA teams are in big cities or mid majors. You have, colleges. You have like 6,000 colleges in the U.S. all over their states. So yeah, maybe they're trying to get into the rural areas, the Tallahassees and the Auburns and the Tuscaloosas. Maybe it's a marketing ploy. I don't. The NBA Cup in itself is just, I don't know how I feel about that. Um, you know,
I do. It's a darn gimmick.
Yeah, I'm not.
The sport's going to the sport's going to the toilet. Why do you think I call it the National Drama League, Marvin? Come on, get up with the terms on the show, dude. National Drama League. Really? Seriously, really?
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, if you can put the NBA Cup, which is the biggest gimmick on the planet, then you might as well stick it somewhere else in Vegas. Now, I can see the NBA Cup going to Duke. They only have 10, 11,000 there anyway. Rupp Arena would be pretty good. You might as well put them in there and other places. You won't put it in UCLA because LA is a town there, and leave it out of John Wooden's place. You don't belong there. Well, yeah, you can put it in a few of those places. You ain't going to do anything out in Vegas. Yeah, you might as well give college people a little sense of NBA basketball, so NBA Cup. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't know if they put a banner up, but the New York Knicks are the only team that's smart. They didn't want to put a banner of that stupid thing up there because they want an NBA championship. God only knows when they're going to get it, but that's beside the point. But putting it in the storied college location, I have no problem with it, even though I think the NBA Cup is useless. All right, well, let's go to my home state, and that is Michigan. Betrayed is the name of the game, and Michigan players feel that they were betrayed after Sharon Moore fallout. And obviously, we'll use this topic on another, but I want to give you the lone dibs on it now. What do you think? Would you feel betrayed after what happened with Sharon Moore?
So really what they mean is that, a head coach in college football, the main thing he's really talking about is leadership to the guys, right, and the umbrella of leadership and all the things that are under that, the pillars of leadership. And what they're basically saying is the actions, the alleged actions or accusations, can really greatly contradict in a huge way the core of everything that these collegiate coaches are telling these young men and young women as well. Just how to act, how to treat the opposite sex. In this case, how men should treat women and how you shouldn't treat them, and looking out for certain types of females who may have an agenda, and being a gentleman and no means no, and these are all the things that coaches say to these young guys. And it's with the allegations here, what's alleged, obviously is horrible. And so I can understand what the players mean by that, because what it means is they loved him. They believed in him. They bought into him. Like he has captured the hearts of men, and it hurts because they look at him kind of as a father figure. All right. And it's not like they're young kids. They're old enough to understand the severity of what happened and what allegedly happened and what the story is. They get it. And this is not a pretty story. Right. So, yeah, these guys are hurt, man. They feel betrayed by their leader. They feel betrayed by the guy who has been teaching them how to be men. The job of a football coach is deep, man. It's deep. You got these young kids, immature, normally immature, which is fine. And you got to deal with that. You got to coach that. You got to grow that. And you're teaching them principles that not only apply to football, but in life, So he's talked to them before about accountability. He's talked to them before about these things. And it's just, and how to act and being smart and, walking away and emotional intelligence. And, he violated everything that he has spoken about, believe me. So, yeah, I believe, Scott, that these guys were bought into that program, bought into him as a man, and they feel hurt. They feel let down.
Yeah, there's no question they were betrayed. But, the best news that came out of it, they got rid of him. They brought in Kyle Whittingham, and Kyle Whittingham managed to save Bryce Underwood, who's going to have a heck of a career when Kyle Whittingham gets done.
They got an upgrade.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
They got an upgrade. Kyle Whittingham is the man. He's the man. Yeah. As a USC alum, SC guy, we played Utah. We played Kyle's teams year after year. Those teams were the toughest teams we played. I mean, I would put Notre Dame and Utah really in the same category of toughness. So Michigan's going to get an even better caliber of player. Man, they got a damn good coach, Scott. They got a good deal.
Well, there's no question the Michigan players were stung over this thing. Nobody saw this thing coming. And now I'm starting to see some other information. Why I haven't talked about it a lot that's coming out, which we'll address. But the best part about the whole thing is we're only talking about the players betrayed, why it's a standalone topic, because there are other layers. Now, I do tend to wait on certain topics a little bit because I like to see how they play out before I go out there and jump the gun. I don't operate like that and never will. But yeah, you're no question got an upgrade in Kyle Whittingham as well as the staff that he's bringing in there. And watch out for the Wolverines. I mean, and kudos to the Michigan Wolverine basketball team. They're number one in the country, and they just got done beating Mel Farr's UCLA Bruins by 30 over the weekend. So sorry, Mel. Whether you're watching these or you don't, boo.
Listen, I can't talk too much junk, Scott. My USC Trojans went up to Michigan and got blown out. Or I think actually they came to LA. They came to LA. Yeah, and UCLA they have a good program, but yeah, Michigan right now, Michigan and Michigan State. These teams are on fire. Michigan is loaded. They have nothing. They have NBA players on that team. Them boys play hard. They shoot. Right. They take it to the hole. They play big. They're a whole other caliber. Yeah, UCLA. Yeah, they got their butt beat.
Well, I worked with Dusty May when he was with Florida Atlantic, and there's no question that Dusty May is unbelievable. And Tom Izzo, to me, sets the gold standard for what coaches are all about when it comes to college. Anyways, they have two great coaches back in Michigan, and they are really two good ones. Let's continue the pace. Friend zone, millionaires in the house, 30. Ouch, yeah, that was bad, all right, that's for sure. All right, so Marvin, do you think the Giants quarterback, Russell Analyst, who actually joined CBS broadcast for a game, should be on TV as an analyst? He's obviously a Super Bowl champion and a 10-time Pro Bowler.
Who? Russell who?
Exactly, Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson. Should he be on TV as an analyst, you're asking?
Yeah, do you think he's done, or do you think he should finally get a TV gig?
Is he done? The unfortunate reality is Father Time is undefeated. And what you typically, Jim Plunkett, had some bad years and then obviously bounced back with the Raiders. But you typically don't see people, you don't see players who are, have played as long as he's played, not do well and get benched and then come back from that. So I think where he's at right now, his best days are behind him. He is probably a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He's arguably the greatest quarterback in the franchise history of the Seattle Seahawks. But I think his days are winding down. I think Russ would do a good job in the booth. I think he's a smart guy. He's good with the mic. I think he has a decent but different sense of humor. But yeah, I think the question is he likable? Do people like him? I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag with him. I think some people are feeling him. Some people just don't like how he kind of changed up when he met Sierra. He kind of went from the humble guy to the kind of Hollywood flashy dude a little bit. You saw the haircut and talking different and saying things that old school Russell Wilson didn't say. So I don't know if people are turned on or turned off by him, but I think he would do a good job as an analyst, though.
Well, CBS is giving him opportunity to see what he can get, so might as well try it. And according to friends, he's photogenic and shrugs. Well, okay, that's probably true. I haven't watched him much. Of course, we haven't watched him much on the field lately because he hasn't played a lot. But he got to prepare for his act after football for sure. Right. All right, a non-sports topic. Everybody's gonna like this one, except Southwest Airlines, because this is a good publicity for them. But Southwest Airlines does require plus-size passengers to purchase 2 seats in 2026. We're going to have Candy Ebling come on and give her opinion about this one. What do you think, Candy, about Southwest Airlines? They're charging for 2 tickets if you're overweight. My goodness.
Well, how do they define overweight? Is there a number
Big.
or a yeah, but that's subjective. Yeah.
Well, no, I wouldn't think it's so subjective. If you're probably in the 400-pound neighborhood, at least 375, 400, you got to be close to the Mason-Dixon line with that. At least I can imagine if your pant size is, I don't know, Katie, what do you think? You obviously have had to deal with this kind of a situation before.
Here's what I'm going to say. If you are bigger than a regular seat, you should have to buy a second seat. I can understand that. But in the same breath, for a parent that has a kid, and you're going to buy a seat for that kid if he's going to go over too. I think as long as they definitively tell you why or how it is that you're going to need to have a second seat, just like I think they have to have strict rules on like baggage policy, because what someone's handbag might be, a purse could be very small, and you can have a backpack that's a purse. Like, I think you have to definitively, as long as you definitively define what you're going to do, hey, there's other airlines out there. You don't have to choose Southwest. Southwest you used to be different. Used to be that you would buy your ticket, and then and it wasn't, you weren't buying the actual seat. You weren't picking it out until after you got to the airline and down to the gate. It's an ever evolving change, obviously, in the airline industry, but there's other airlines you can pick.
Yeah, probably the other. Go ahead, Scott.
This Steve Penkowski, I don't remember being in a Burger King in 2016 doing what you say it was. But if your memory's better than mine, I don't know who you're talking about, but oh well. If you go there and you eat there, I can't necessarily say that I've been there very much at all the last 5 to 7 years anyway. So, I'm not going to read all of it, but somehow, some way, I'm getting selective memory, and my selective memory says, okay. And Candy, how tall are you? I can tell that's a pertinent question for this chat room. All right, Steve, how tall are you, man? What was the last time you went to Burger King, Steve? That's okay. It doesn't matter. Marvin, go ahead.
I would think that this is probably a response by passengers who feel they've been subjected to sitting next to somebody who consumed more than one seat, and just how uncomfortable it made them feel. This isn't, the airline just pulling this out their butt. This is in response to this being an ongoing issue. And I get it. I mean, listen, I was 385 at one point. Now I'm like 215. And, I know what it is to be a bigger person and issues with the seatbelt and this and that. And so I get it, man. I do. I don't fault him for that either. I don't fault him for taking action. I get it. I really do.
Okay. Interesting stuff. All right. Well, Candy, let's go to a station break.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40 plus years in the media business and how it has evolved and changed. Like we were saying, everything changes. So does the media, and how you cover things and who covers things. So go get your copy of this book. It's very, very interesting, very enlightening, lots of stories, good pictures. If you want to get into the media, it talks about all of that. It's got some really good stories as well. Again, it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. The audiobook is also out, so go grab it however you like to read it or listen to it. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. We have some really good writers. We get some content from local colleges down here in South Florida, so go check it all out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see the red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What were you waiting for? Just click it, like us, share us with all your friends and family, and then turn on your notifications, because let's face it, you do not want to miss any of our great programming. So click it, like us, and turn on your notifications. Thank you, Scott. Back to the program.
Let's go to Friend Zone. I like this one. The last time I went to Taco Bell was the same week of Jerry Rice's first knee injury towards the end of his career. Well, it's funny how you do that, Friend Zone, because when I had back surgery, I actually associate that when Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett passed away. So it's interesting how you can measure significant events about certain people. And I'll even take it a step further. Many years ago, I tore my ankle up skiing on Magic Mountain in Vermont. And what do you think happened? Legendary baseball manager Billy Martin died in an auto accident. So, friends, it's interesting how you bring those things up. It's pretty interesting.
God, I'll tell you what, man, Farrah Fawcett, she's before my time. But boy, I didn't see all them posters. She was a real one, boy.
Yeah, I like
She
Farrah
was a
Fawcett.
real one.
Farrah Fawcett was unbelievable. Michael
Yeah.
Jackson was something else, and I actually had a chance to interview Billy Martin, and I have nothing wrong with Billy Martin. He was all right in my book too. So,
God, I went to
you
high
know,
school with Jackie Jackson's son. I went to Michael Jackson's parents' house for
did you
dinner.
really? No kidding.
Yeah,
Really?
the house in Encino. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'll
beautiful
tell you.
home.
Yeah, rest and funny how you mentioned that. Rest in peace, Reverend Jesse
Oh,
Jackson.
wait a minute. I have the one claim to fame. I was born in the same hospital as Michael Jackson.
In Gary,
really?
Indiana?
Oh, you were you really?
Yes, I was. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
We didn't live there long, but my dad got his first teaching job in Maryville, which is right next door. It's a suburb of Gary. And so yeah, we were down there for the first year and a half of my life. So
See, I told you she's a Hoosier. She's a Hoosier. All right, good stuff. Charlie's Angels gets mentioned as well. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that show for a while young. Now I'll take Charlie's Angels all day long over the programming they have these days. I don't really watch a lot of programming. I'm too busy delivering the programming. It doesn't make any difference anyway. All right, a few more things to talk about. Sports Exchange at 9:00 Eastern time. Chris Paul, well, said before the season that he was going to retire at the end of the season, but guess what? The former LA Clipper didn't even make it to the All-Star break. That's all right, Chris Paul. You had a great career. What are your thoughts about Chris Paul, Marvin?
Yeah, Chris is an all-time great player. He was a great player at Wake Forest. I was living in North Carolina when he was in high school, and he went to high school in Carolina. And he was a big name, man. He was a big name, had a phenomenal career in the NBA, one of the most respected players, fierce competitor, wasn't a big guy, but had tremendous impact, absolutely a Hall of Famer. And I think he also did some work with the Players Association. I think he was very active in the NBA Players Union and just pushing for better rights for the players. So yeah, man, that's a loss for the game, and thankful for the time he put in.
No question about it. Yeah, he could play in any era, a good natural point guard. And we'll talk about him at a later date as well. We'll celebrate his stats. It's just on the heels of the All-Star break. It's just too bad he didn't even make it to the All-Star break. He could never get it figured out after that. And of course, let's go to Friend Zone, who's been coming up with a really good comment. Marquette sub 500 is about to get their doors blown off by St. John's, top 100 in the country. Thanks a lot for the update, Friend Zone. Much appreciated. Okay. Cooper Flagg, obviously missed the Rising Stars NBA game All-Star weekend with a left mid-foot sprain. And will be out after the All-Star game. You think it was a good idea that he passed on that? Because the Mavericks are certainly going to need him down the stretch, Marvin.
Absolutely. The All-Star game is irrelevant. This kid, he's the franchise player. He's a number 1 overall pick. He's proven that he could play in this league, and he's only going to get better. So yeah, when he's young, I mean, you don't want to rush these kids, man. You want guys to get healthy. That's how you have reoccurring injuries, and now you have an injury lasting years that should have been taken care of in weeks and months. So yeah, I'm all for the player resting just so he can go out there and give 100% healthy. And with that said, I'm all good with guys playing hurt. That's part of it. But I think he's dealing with an injury, and there's a difference between being injured and being hurt. When you're hurt, you play. When you're injured, you got to get healthy. So, yeah, I support the move.
Yeah, well, I do too. And Friend Zone, it's another bullseye. Chris Paul was a tough player, not afraid to take it to the lane. Well, it's made him such a great player that he was because of what you just said. Great minds think alike there. All right, final topic of the night happens to be the featured topic of the night. That's a legend of Nathan's Hot Dog Company. All right, Marvin. The iconic Coney Island hot dog hawker Nathan's famous Coney Island is sold for $450 million. And what do we know about it? Well, Joey Chestnut ate a lot of them. What are your thoughts about the legend of Nathan's Coney Island?
Unbelievable to think that a hot dog stand in Coney Island, 100 years ago, were turned into a $450 million sale, and man, I just think about the initial entrepreneur. That's what I think of. I guess his name was Nathan. Right. It was just a dream, and now his great grandkids are absolutely benefiting from his guts, and it's amazing. Listen, living in New York as a kid, I've had many Nathan's hot dogs. Still eat them to this day when we grill out, and so it's a good product. Completely unhealthy. Don't recommend it, but it's good. It's good on that grill. You know what I'm saying? So great. Yeah, listen, great investment, man. Great investment. Joey Chestnut. I don't know how he's still alive. How do you consume 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes and you're still alive? That's just, I mean, how is the stomach not, so, this guy's unbelievable, man. And it's unreal how they've built a whole, a whole entity on Joey Chestnut. That's the hot dog competition on July 4th. It's its own thing. People tune into it. I've watched it many times live over the years. And I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie. I love to eat. And, but those guys are a different level, Scott. Those guys are a different level.
Yeah, they are.
I probably couldn't do 10 hot dogs in 10 minutes. They do 70.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible stuff. I mean, how he devours that many hot dogs, and Nathan's making a name. Hey, I'll take a good hot dog anytime I can get one. And if I'm looking for Coney Island and I'm back in Detroit, I go to Lafayette, Coney Island in Detroit. They're pretty good as well. And I think they have American Coney Island. They have two Coney Islands actually right next to each other. There's a lot of Coney Islands back in Metro Detroit as well. So since I'm on the final subject being a food topic, I am. But, Friend Zone, so see, Nathan's famous, great for barbecue. You bet, my man. Friend Zone's been on target all day long. So, yeah, I don't know. Joey Chestnut, I still don't know how you do it, but there's a science to eating that many dogs. And all I know is they only hold it once a year. So you have about a year to recover. And he seems like a pretty skinny dude, so he must have some sort of a workout regimen as well. Well, with that said, that does it for this edition of the Motor City Mad Mouth and Marvin on the Mic show. Candy will come in for one more station break. Marvin will let everybody know how they can get a hold of him, and we're going to prepare for the Sports Exchange in about a half an hour or 25 minutes or so. Go ahead, Candy.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Mad Mouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved and changed. Go get your copy today. You want to see a picture of young Scott with a young Muhammad Ali, or a young Scott and Tommy Lasorda, or the real Rocky, Chuck Wepner. So go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, Apple Books, or you can get the audio version and listen to his stories. He's got lots of stories. So go get your copy today. It's also available audiobook wherever you get your audiobook. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there's a plethora of great content. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Just click it, like us, share us, and then tell all your friends and family. And turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. You don't want to miss any of our great programming. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you very much. And, of course, the words of advice are from Friend Zone. Keep plugging away, folks. Great to get insight from the pros. Gosh, you are the best. You're a legend, Friend Zone. Thanks for being on the show tonight with Marvin and I and Candy. All right. So, Marvin, let everybody know how to get a hold of you real quick, and they're going to see you in about 22 minutes.
Absolutely. Yes. Marvin Powell III. Marvin on the Mic is my handle. I'm on all the social medias. I'm fortunate enough to be here on the South Florida Tribune 5 times a week. You can catch me on Locked On USC twice a week. And that's it.
All right. Does it for us. We'll see you in about 20, 25 minutes or so for the Sports Exchange. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Friend Zone, you were awesome in here. Appreciate it. And we'll be back in just a little bit. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.